There are three types of flight: dynamic flight, thermal flight, and thermodynamic flight. Today, we'll focus on dynamic flight. This type of flight typically occurs near the ocean because we need a stable atmosphere. If we have a cliff or ridge facing the ocean, we can take advantage of the wind that usually blows from the sea towards the land. This wind travels horizontally, but when it hits the cliff, it rises along the slope. This upward current, also called lift, helps us gain altitude and stay in the air. For this to happen, the direction of the wind is crucial. The wind must hit the slope directly. We call this headwind. When that happens, we can fly and gain altitude. However, sometimes the wind doesn't hit the slope head-on, but flows parallel to it. In that case, we won't be able to fly. Wind speed is also essential. Typically, we need wind between 15 and 30 kilometers per hour. A dynamic flight has several advantages compared to other types of flight. The first advantage is that it's a calm and peaceful type of flying. There's no turbulence, and it's very easy to control. Another benefit is that it's simple to gain altitude. You just need to position yourself on the slope facing the wind. Lastly, you can fly for long periods because as long as there's wind, you'll be able to stay airborne and climb. On the other hand, dynamic flight also has some disadvantages. One of them is that you can't reach very high altitudes. Unlike thermals, which can lift you thousands of meters, dynamic flight typically only allows you to climb between 100 to 300 meters above the top of the ridge or cliff. The biggest downside of dynamic flight is that it depends entirely on the wind. This means we often have to wait long hours at the flying site, hoping for the wind to be at the right speed and direction. Finally, you can't cover long distances in this type of flight. You're limited to flying along the ridge or cliff that faces the wind, so cross-country flights aren't possible. To make the most of this lift along the cliff, simply fly in a straight line, always staying close to the edge of the ridge. In dynamic flight, there's no need to perform 360-degree turns. It's mainly about maintaining your direction, turning around at the end of the ridge, and repeating the process.